So, taking all of your input into account, we will continue to update the game, including Izumi, so please look forward to that.
実際、次のキャラクターなんかもすごい考えてますので、これからもアンダーナイトインバーシリーズをよろしくお願いします。
So I hope you guys can continue to enjoy the Under Night series because we're in the middle of thinking of a brand new character to bring in.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's Easy Neo back with another video, and I hope you enjoyed the Under Night gameplay. This is offline gameplay with me and my friend Juve_ITA. He doesn't really upload, but you'll see him in the comment section of my videos. He's a friend I've known in real life. I've known him since I was a kid. And, you know, we just play games together sometimes, you know, the rare times where we're free and we can, you know, offline play together. You know, we go to somebody's house and play, so I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I'm playing as Kaguya, he's playing as Landrakia. He's helping me get back in shape because I haven't been playing this game in a minute, right? But as you could tell by the title, Under Night 2 is going to continue to get content and support after Izumi, which is really, really good because before Evo, like leading up to Evo, I'm like, yo, this has like a really good chance of being it for Under Night. Like there's a high chance that this could be it for Under Night. Like Under Night could be done after Izumi, right? Of course, like I was like, yeah, it could be done, but there's a possibility that it might not because there's just so much with like Higan and stuff like that, which we'll get into later, that like needs to conclude for it to be the end. And I don't know, it feels like there's just too much added with just Higan's introduction in general that, okay, it's gonna take some time to like wrap everything up, to wrap this story up, right? So we're gonna get into that. They said there's gonna be potential characters. Hopefully there's characters, right? Potential characters, because they didn't mention characters at the reveal, right? So I don't know, we're running out of characters, but we'll get to characters later, and then, you know, there'll be patches and stuff like that, right? So the game will continue to get support, which is a really good thing. I'm really happy for that. I do apologize for not, you know, uploading this game on my channel. I thought I'd upload this game a lot more, but, you know, something came up. You know, the Sonic content was really doing well, and I decided to focus on that for a really long time, and Under Night just kind of, you know, just went underground, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there's that. So, I want to talk about something, not the patches and stuff like that, because I really don't know who needs to be buffed, who needs to be nerfed, or what needs to be buffed or nerfed, right? I'm not the best on that. I don't have the expertise on that. You're going to have to find a more knowledgeable YouTuber on that, because I don't know. I'll be the first to say I don't know. When I don't know something, I'm going to say I don't know something, right? So, I want to talk about Chronicle Mode real quick, right? If Chronicle Mode could make its way back, a hypothetical Chronicle Mode, and I don't know, I'm kind of mixed on this, because part of me says yes, it can come back, but another part of me is like, I don't see it. I don't see it coming back, right? So the reason I would want Chronicle Mode to come back, and I would like Chronicle Mode to come back, is because I think it's one of the easiest ways to wrap everything up and for us to get a visual on what happened in between Under Night 1 and 2, right? For us to get a visual, you know, for us to actually see Hyde beat Hilda, then Kuon pulling up and beating both of them, and then starting the plot of Under Night 2. Like, we could see, like, what happened in between and what connects the two stories, right? That's an easy way, you know, Chronicle Mode can do that easily, and Chronicle Mode can actually just, like, wrap everything up. I think it's a easier way to wrap everything up and to wrap every character's story up and the overall story as a whole, opposed to just relying on every character's arcade mode and then, you know, us just putting the pieces together and things of that nature. You know, you guys know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. Like, I hope I'm making sense right now, but I think Chronicle Mode would just be an easier way to wrap things up. But that's why I would want it. But a big part of me, I know I said I was mixed at first, but now that I'm thinking about it, a big part of me is like, nah, I don't think Chronicle Mode will come back, because I think that'd take a lot of time and maybe a couple resources, new art, whatever the case may be, right? And I think the resources and the time that they would put into a hypothetical arcade mode, they would rather just focus on balancing characters and adding potential new characters, right? So I'm leaning more towards no, Chronicle Mode won't return, but don't get me wrong, I do want it to return. Like, I really want it to return, but it's looking kind of like grim. In my eyes, it's just like, I'm gonna say 60% chance, no, 70% chance it doesn't come back, 30% chance it does. I would like it to come back because I actually like the game story mode. I actually like went through all of Chronicle mode in the first game. I know like a couple of my friends said it was kind of boring, right, to just sit through it, but I actually sat through it, learned about the story, and I really like this game's story. So I would like to see Chronicle mode come back. It would help flesh stuff out and just connect things better than us relying on arcade mode. Right, so that's gonna be my stance on Chronicle mode right there. All right, so let's get into discussion about characters real quick. So they said brand new character, right? They said a brand new character, so one brand new character. Hopefully there's more than one character, but if there's one character, you know it is what it is, right? So it's a brand new character. I don't know what brand new character means. Does that mean it's going to be a completely new character that, you know, we've never seen before? Or is it going to be like characters that have had cameo appearances, or characters that have been mentioned before but haven't been playable, actually playable? We're going to talk about both. So for brand new characters, the only brand new character that we know of outside of Izumi is Higan, right? I don't know if Higan will be playable. That's up in the air. We don't even know who Higan is. I don't know. When I was playing through the arcade mode of Under Night 2, I was just assuming that Higan was a rebirth. In my head, I assume we don't know if he's a rebirth or not, but I assumed that he was a rebirth, right? Or like the rebirth of rebirths, like King Rebirth, you know what I mean? But we don't know that yet. But that's really up in the air. That's 50-50 if it'll be him. 50% chance he could get in, 50% chance he can. If I was to give it a percentage, I'd say 50-50, right? So Higan's definitely one character that can make it into the game if we're talking about brand new character. Now there are 6 rebirths, right? And we only know 2 of them. To my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, we only know 2 of them, right? I would like every rebirth to be playable, or every rebirth to make an appearance. I don't even know if every rebirth is, like, I was gonna say alive, but they're kind of immortal, so what am I talking about if they're alive? So I would like to see the other rebirths. If there's brand new characters that we've never seen before, I don't know how they would integrate into the story though. But if it's just one character, it's most likely Higan, right? In terms of brand new characters. If there's multiple characters, then potentially the other rebirths that we don't know of, in my head, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's only 2 rebirths that we know of right now, and that is Adaheld, who I'll talk about her later, and Kuon, who's already in the game, right? So now I'm gonna talk about like pre-existing characters that we've seen in the game before, that we know can fight, that we know have very strong abilities, or just abilities in general, but they're not playable. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Adaheld, because I just mentioned her, of course. So Adaheld could get in, you know, she's a rebirth. I would like to see her get in the game. Like I said, I would like to see all the rebirths playable. If they're gonna add new characters, you might as well just add all the rebirths and just, you know, make sure they blend into the story well and conclude everything, right? Because there's still the other rebirths out there, so it's like, I don't know, what are they plotting up to? What are they up to? I could be remembering things wrong. It's been a while since, like, probably like a year plus since I've seen Under Night 1 story. So even Under Night 2's, right? Like playing through the arc, it's been like a year. So, you know, there's that. And just to mention this real quick, I haven't played any of the DLC characters' story. So I haven't played what's it called, Uzuki's story, and I haven't played Ogre's story. So I don't know if any new character was mentioned there or seen there that could be added to the game. If so, you guys let me know in the comment section below. And also, if you made it this far in the comment section, let me know the character that you want to get, the character that you think is most likely to get into the game. All right. And if it's a brand new character, speculate in the comment section, type what you think that character would be, what you'd want that character to be, who this new potential character could be. Let me know in the comment section below. All right. It could really be anybody. But yeah, to continue with the pre-existing characters that could get into the game, I already mentioned Adaheld. There's the 2 other autonomic nerves, like Fatista. I hope I said her name right. And I'm forgetting one of their names, but I know one of their names is like Reflect or something like that. And I think I don't know if we have images of them, but there are those 2 other autonomic nerves that are just like Fatista. So maybe they could get in the game. Zohar is a character that I think could get in the game. Right, Zohar is also a character. I think Zohar is definitely more likely than Adaheld or the other 2 autonomic nerves that I mentioned before. I'm trying to think who else, because like there's a very small pool. If we're talking about like pre-existing characters that have made appearances within the Under Night story, but they're not playable, there's a very small pool of characters to choose from. We're kind of like running out of characters unless they just introduce new characters, but I don't know. If this is the last game, then introducing a lot of new characters brings up another problem, because then you have to flesh those characters out, and this is supposed to be the last game, right? This is supposed to end the story of Under Night, so I don't know how that would work. If they can make it work, they can make it work, right? So I'm open to new characters. It's just I don't know how they'd be able to wrap everything up by adding new characters, you know, because you know that saying, don't like add too many new ideas at the end of whatever you're doing, because then you have to flesh those out, and you might not have enough time to, because you're at the tail end of things, right? I know I'm not crazy. I'm not the only one who's heard that quote before, right? You guys let me know. But yeah, so there's that. There's also, what's his name? I always called him Lil Bro, but it was the guy that was with the little kid that was with Carmine in his Chronicle mode, right, from the first game. I'm trying to remember his name. Azel. Yeah, so Azel is also another one who could potentially get in the game. I don't know how he'd fight. Roger, unlikely, but he is alive at the end of Gordo's story, so who knows? Who knows? Maybe they could add Roger. Like I said, it's just like, I'm trying to think, but it's really hard because we're running out of characters. You have Wagner's assistants. I don't know if they fight though, but they're there, you know. It's up in the air for them. I guess it's very unlikely that they make it into the game, but that's just another character that I could think of. Still trying to think. I know there's like one character that I'm missing. There's one character. There's that Joker guy, but I don't think he's gonna get in. She was mentioned at the end of Hilda's story at the end of Hilda's arcade mode in the first game, but no chance. To be honest, I don't think there's a chance that he gets in. I don't think there's a chance that we see Joker. But yeah, who else? Who else? Like we're really like running out of characters. I can't think of many other characters to put in the game. Like that's all that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe you can add Kuon before he became a rebirth. I don't know. I don't know the point of that though. The Hollow God's definitely not making it into the game. I think we'll hear more about the Hollow God as like Izumi's arcade mode and stuff like that, and whatever she brings to the story. I definitely believe that we'll hear more about the Hollow God. Right? But there needs to be so much more said about Higan. It's like, I don't know, a lot of the characters' stories are wrapping up, but it still feels like there's so much story left for Under Night just for it to end with this game. I feel like there should be more games, or this game might get support for longer than I think it will. By the way, continue to support Under Night. If you haven't got the game, get the game already. This is a really fun fighting game. If you want to box with me, let me know. I'm not a super tryhard. If you're a beginner, then we take things slow and we just have fun, you know what I mean? But let me know if you guys get the game. You know, if you want to get the game, get on Discord or whatever, we play. Buy Under Night. But Under Night's one of the best fighting games out right now. You know, definitely one of the best 2D fighting games out right now. So go ahead and get Under Night. But yeah, that's really all that I have to say, because I can't really think of any other characters. If there are any other characters that you could think that can make it into the game, let me know. They said a brand new character, so I'm leaning towards the lines of like a character like Higan, or character that we just never heard of yet. Apart from those other characters that I did name, but there is a chance that some of them could get in. I think the most likely option of all those characters that I named to get in is Zohar. Right? Zohar's story, we don't know what Zohar's been up to. That's one of the characters that we really don't know, and an important character too, especially since Ogre's in the game and since Strix's story with Byakuya ended, right? So 2 out of the 3, and I haven't played Ogre's story, so I don't know what happens in his story, but I'm just going to assume that 2 out of the 3 characters, their story out of that group, their story has ended, and 1 we don't know about. So I think Zohar is definitely most likely to get in. But you let me know in the comment section below what characters you think are likely to get into Under Night 2. If there is a brand new character, speculate who you think that is. Like, comment, subscribe, and just, enjoy the rest of the fights. I'm Easy Neo. I'm signing off. Don't worry, I will drop more Under Night content. If you want more like offline gameplay like this, let me know also, because it's easier for me, right, to just ask one of my friends, one of my friends in real life, hey, you want to get on the game? Because a lot of them do play the game and they play this game heavy, right? So it's easy for me to be like, hey, you want to get on the game? And it's just more fun for me that way too. So I can do the online matches too. I'm getting in shape for that, you know. I want to learn a bit more of Kaguya, and I want to learn some other characters. So listen, if you made it this far, give me 3 characters that I can use. Give me 3 characters other than Kaguya that you'd like to see me play as or learn, and I'm gonna put in the work to learn them. Just not Yuzu, bro. Not yet for Yuzu or Seth or for Tista. It's like, no, you can drop them if you want. You could drop them if you want, and I'll see which ones you guys choose for me, and I'll pick up a secondary character, a third character, and a fourth character. The goal for me is to be well equipped. I don't have to be the best, but to know just a bit with every character. Anyway, I've talked so much. I've been rambling for too much. Enjoy the rest of the fights. Easy Neo signing off. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all next video. Dang, bro, I really like to talk a lot. I'm not signing off yet. There's actually one more thing that I gotta mention. I didn't mention guest characters for a reason. I don't want to see a guest character just for the sake of I want this story to wrap up. So any character that's not an Under Night character, I feel like it's gonna be a waste of a slot. I know guest characters are popular, and I love guest characters. I don't know how you guys feel about guest characters, but I love guest characters in fighting games, and I think they should continue. I love guest characters. I think they're a lot of fun. But with a game like this, if they're there, I'm gonna have fun with them. If they're fun, that's all that really matters. Right? If they're fun to play as, that's all that really matters to me. I don't care what the character is, but I do love guest characters. So if they're fun, I won't mind. But I want this story to be wrapped up. I want to see the conclusion of this story. And any character that's not a part of the story or doesn't have anything to do with the story, like a guest character, it'll feel like a wasted slot at this point. So that's why I didn't mention guest characters, because I just don't want to see a guest character. If it happens, it happens. If they look fun, I'm going to play as them and I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to have a fun time. And I love guest characters. It's just, in this particular instance, when the story needs to end, we don't need guest characters. It would feel like a wasted slot when it could have been a character that could help elevate the story to its end. So, now I'm signing off. I've been talking for way too much. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Like, comment, subscribe. I probably said that 3 times already. But Easy Neo signing off. Peace out. And God bless, too.
まだ ナーはい
失敗失敗
セカンドクローズリバイブ
上からほら一本美しく打ちますやー刺さかれる心の隙間なり
シャレになんねカウンター
上からおぼち打ち抜く打ちます後ろです一本美しく立て直しが別勝そう心が乱れてますよ安心だいきますね
カウンター
しばしば別勝打ちますや三日月賞銃弾のお味はいかがですか？
ウィナーハリウッドファイナルクローズリバイブ
一戦打ちますよ
あれやったいけ逃がさね
カウンター上からバッシュ打ち抜かれ打ちます後ろです1、2、3いきますね見えてます
カウンターカウンター
ちょうだい上からセットいきますね
カウンターウィナーはいファーストクローズリバイブカウンター
上から下打ちますやー三日月賞それ大変大変立て直していきますね
セカンドクローズリバイブウィナーはいファイナルクローズリバイブ
これ以上にゴリエのことはさせられません